Afternoon, everybody. Have we got a good day so far at CamJam?
Yes.
Hanging out with the geek community. Fantastic. My name is Mark, but everybody who knows me ends up calling me Mr. C. So all the kids that I teach are calling me Mr. C, and even all the grown-ups I end up calling me Mr. C. So if you meet me on the street, Mr. C is absolutely fine if you can't remember my actual name. I am the founder and head teacher at Hack Lab, and we basically work with kids aged sort of 8 to 14, and we get them inside technology. So instead of just sitting there on your iPad messing around, things like that, we like them to pull things apart, get inside, and the reason we do what we do is because I think in the future, and I'm sure all of you think the same thing, that digital technology is the way everything is going. Okay, it's the new literacy. If you can't understand how technology works, then you are illiterate in today's world. Everything is done online, everything's digital. You do shopping online, you buy plane tickets online, you watch TV online, everything is digital now. If you can't do it, you'll be left behind. So we take these guys here, who are everybody, okay, and they come in for holiday camps. We go into their schools and we do after school clubs and weekend workshops for kids of this age. They hang out with us and we teach them how machinery actually works. You don't just sit there and use it, you can make it and you can change it and you can adapt everything about it. Okay, it's totally mutable. So today I'm here to talk about why hacker is not a dirty word, because this is something that really annoys me. Okay, so in the media, hacker is now portrayed as somebody who is really horrible and evil. So you're like some hoodie techno villain doing digital voodoo to people across the phone line. But that's not what it is, and that's not what it used to be. When the first term was born, the term was first coined, a long, long time ago, it meant something totally different. It was a very positive thing to call somebody. These days, the only time it's positive to call somebody a hacker is if you're another hacker. And you say, yeah, that was a pretty sweet hack, or yeah, I saw what you were doing at the weekend, or I'm hacking away on my computer. Everybody else, if you use that word around them, they sort of look at you sideways and take a couple of steps away because they think you're some villain or some bad person. So to show you what we do at Hack Lab just quickly, we've got a little promo video that was made by Pop Productions.
I like Hack Lab because, well, I like it because of everything.
I get to play Minecraft. We get to do fun stuff like making wristbands that light up.
Hang out with kids all day and play computer games and do coding and show them that the machine is an incredibly powerful tool.
It's so, I can't even find the right words.
Very soon in the future, every job will need some kind of programming. It'll be essential. There'll be better technology in the world that's useful. Like, you can get to interact with people that's far away. They could come up with better Xboxes and PlayStations.
Everything in the world is digital now, from doing your groceries online to booking airline tickets to Uber cabs and all this sort of stuff. The next generation coming through is going to be even more so, more digital, and we're giving them the keys to the kingdom and knowing how to use these things.
I'd be a mathematician, an author, or I want to be an electronics engineer,
A website designer. Well, first I'm going to be a physicist. Then once I learn a little part of physics, I'm going to switch over to being, working for Microsoft.
When I grow up, I don't know, I hope that doesn't ever happen because it sounds really boring. So that's essentially what we do during holiday time. So these guys come in and hang out with us and we teach them a bit about tech. And we use the Raspberry Pi because it is so versatile. You can do anything with it, from physical computing to programming to anything. It's got Minecraft built in, which is one thing that kids go crazy for. And we use the Minecraft API to teach them Python. So if you've never ever seen Python before, you can sit down in front of a Minecraft game, something you are completely familiar with, and you can adapt the way it works. You can change it live while you're playing the game by using these Python scripts. And if that's not motivation for kids, I don't know what is. Okay, the ability to write your own mods in Minecraft is something that kids say to us every single time. It's their favourite thing back here. And that's just simply because we found a motivation for them. We found a reason to get inside the tech and do something different with it. When you've got an iPad, you're locked out. You can't change things. It's very easy to use and you can consume things and do all that sort of stuff, but there's no motivation for you to get into it because they're avoiding that completely. They don't want you to do that. Raspberry Pi is built for it. It's designed for kids to pull it apart, put it back together, work out how it all fits. And that's why we use them every single day. Now, hacker is a dirty word, unfortunately, in today's society. And it should be. It's a very old word. The first time it was really used was back in 1948 at MIT. So the word is a really, really old word. And the guys who used to do it most were the guys who worked for the Model Railroad Club. And they used the word because it was something that they could throw around the office. It was something that they used. It was an inside term that they used for each other. And mostly it was because the things that they were doing were pretty hacked together. So they used to build these things inside the, inside the railroad. Okay, the Signals and Power Subcommittee, because geeks love to give themselves little names for their tiny groups. Okay, so the Signals and Power Subcommittee were the guys who designed a computer program for their railway track, which would, they called it the ARRC, and it was based on a telephone relay. It could run a train around their entire track without human involvement. It would flip its own switches, it would change its own track, it would run around it, and while it was doing it, it would scrape the track clean so that when they got in the next day, the track was nice and ready to go for them. And so these were the first hackers. They built this little system for themselves, and they kept their own little group. And they created the jargon file. I don't know if anyone's seen the jargon file online. The jargon file is kind of a hacker dictionary. So if you go on there, it's got all kinds of terms and things. If you don't know something, go to catb.org/jargon and search it up, because someone somewhere will have produced a definition for a word that you don't understand or an acronym you've never heard of before, and they'll explain it in very simple and very basic words. Okay, it's called the jargon file. It's definitely worth a look. And the word hacker appears in that in the jargon file. It has 8 different definitions, but we'll get to that in a minute. In 1903, we had the first pwning, and this was when a man called Guglielmo Marconi developed the telegraph.
Perfect.
And another guy called Neville Maskelyne, he came along and he decided that this technology, even though it was touted to be super secure and you could send a message across the world, which was done. They sent a message from Teddy Roosevelt, the president at the time, to King George, and it was touted as being a new secure way of communicating, and that nobody could break your communications as a way of teleporting all these things across the world at instant speed. Nobody could find out what you're saying to each other. And then Maskelyne came along and said, yeah, that's not really true, mate. And he hacked the guy's system. During the public broadcast of this message to King George, he hacked it in front of everybody, and the dots and dashes that came out of the machine, when Marconi read them, actually said there was a young fellow of Italy who diddled the public quite briefly. So the message he read to King George was not only offensive, but wrong. And this hacker decided that that was an interesting trick and that was something he could do. And what he wanted to do was tell people, don't believe everything you are told. Don't believe that the system is secure. Don't believe that this technology is the be-all and end-all of everything. You can make it better, you can change it, and everything is adaptable, everything is hackable. You may have heard of his son, Jasper Maskelyne, a famous guy in World War II who tricked the Nazis into bombing a city that wasn't actually there. Another hacker, okay? So hackers have been saving the world for a long, long time. The jargon file, as I was saying, has 8 definitions for hacker. It is a noun. So the first one is, pretty technical. My favourite one is actually number, where are we? Where are we? I left out. So we've got 8 definitions here. The 8th one is the one that we know today. It's a deprecated definition. It's somebody who meddles things, and they break things, and they destroy things, and they steal your passwords and take your information. And that's not actually a hacker. The real term for that guy is a cracker. Okay? He's not someone who does something positive. He doesn't work for the greater good. A hacker will take your system, he'll break it, and he'll point out to you exactly where it broke. And you'll say, you need to go and fix this, please. These are white hat hackers. We'll come to them in a little bit. So, my dad was a hacker. When I was a kid, my dad had all these rules that he would teach me. Every time we did a job, he would shanghai me into doing a job. So we'd build furniture, we would create our own barbecue, we would wire up a sound system. By the time I was 3, my dad had a sound system that he had soldered together himself, the mixer, the speakers, the works. And I learned that sort of attitude from him. And so his rules are very simple. Think more, work less. Okay, measure twice, cut once. You've already heard that one. His second rule was be helpful or get out of my way. Okay, so don't mess up my stuff. Don't come and poke with my cables. Don't mess with what I'm doing unless you're here to help me. His third rule was if you put everything away and you clean it, then when you want it, it will be where you left it and ready to go. The fourth rule is respect your tools and pay attention. If you're not paying attention while you're using a tool, this is how you lose fingers and get hurt. And if you don't know, don't give up. Go and find out. Ask somebody who does know. Ask somebody who has a book that they can lend you. All of these things are hacker mentality. Nobody gives up. Nobody says that's too hard for me. You go away and find out how to make it easier, how to make it better. Improve the system. And so at Hack Lab, we've adapted my dad's rules, okay, for a modern age, for the kids that come and see us all the time. And they're these. So first of all, you have to be excellent to each other. So hackers are a community. All of you are here because we're a community. We work together. We do things together. You go out there and there are people who are collaborating out there right now to produce new and better things. Okay, we just saw the Crumble system. Really cool. And that's for kids to go out there, collaborate, do things that are better. If you don't get along, you get to leave. Okay, that's how it works. We're not here to compete with each other. We're here to make the thing better together for a team, a community. The second rule is respect your crew. So don't impose yourself on other people, don't take their stuff without asking, don't push them out of your way, and don't hog up equipment. We're here to share. The third rule is be aware. We're always using electrical things, we're always using tools. If you aren't paying attention, you are going to get hurt, or you're going to hurt somebody else, or break my stuff, and then I get mad. You need to stretch your brain. If something seems hard, good, you're being challenged. You're learning new things. It's when you are uncomfortable that you are learning. You need to stop and look and think first. If you're having problems, we have the rule that you ask 3 people, then you ask a grown-up. Okay, you ask 3 other kids, then you ask the grown-up, because somebody else, not only might they know the answer when I'm helping somebody who doesn't, but you make them feel good about being able to share their knowledge with you. Everybody loves to teach somebody something. And if you ask your partner and they say, yeah, I can do that for you, they feel really good. The only rule we have is don't touch someone else's equipment. If they need your help, you can talk to them, you can point things out, but you don't push them off their computer and start coding for them. It's not how things work. And the last one we have is go find out. Don't ever say I don't know. We have the internet. We have Google. We have Wikipedia. Guys? What do we say about Wikipedia?
Never trust it.
Never trust it. Fantastic. Okay? So we can go on the internet, we can find out anything. And if you can't, there are people around you who will help. We are here to help you. Please ask us questions. And I'm sure if you guys have asked questions of anybody out there, they get this crazy gleam in their eye and you have to find reasons to leave. Okay, so hackers love to answer questions for you. A true hacker will never tell you to go away, I'm busy. You'll ask them a question and then you'll have to try and find a way to extricate yourself because they've given you this ridiculous answer. I do that, don't I, guys? I waffle sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the new Hacker Manifesto. I think we need to bring this mentality back to kids. Okay, we need to stop telling them that hacking is wrong and that getting inside a machine and pulling it apart to see how it works is wrong. The insides of things are beautiful, guys. We need to see what they look like. For a long time, people have done things, have had everything done for them with technology. Everything is done for you. You switch on your iPad, it boots. It doesn't even show you that it's booting up. It doesn't tell you what it's doing. It just comes on and you can start using it. Lazy. Okay, there's no thinking involved in that. You're using the machine to do your thinking for you. It's not what you should be doing. Your brain is an incredibly powerful tool. It's more powerful than any computer that exists today. Why aren't you using it? Loads of people have become complacent from this, and nobody can fix things for themselves anymore. It used to be like this really cool manly man thing, okay? Back when hackers were all men, and that's where the stereotype comes from, we'll talk about that another time. But back when manly men were the hackers, you had to be able to fix your own car, you had to be able to change your own tyre. If your table got wobbly, you had to be able to fix it. Today, nobody does anything like that. Your table breaks, you throw it away. If your car breaks down, you take it to a mechanic. Most people wouldn't know how to change a tyre if you asked them. Lazy, complacent. Okay, and you end up powerless. You end up stranded and a slave to the technology that you own. The things you own end up owning you. The Buddha said that a long time ago. Very, very clever man. So these people then, since we are beholden to technology, we don't know how it works. We are also victims to people who do know how it works. And these are the hackers you hear about in the news. These are the people who know how to get inside your bank account. These are the people who know how to get onto your computer at home. Why? Because they took the time and they found out how the machine worked. And now they use the knowledge that they have to acquire power for themselves. This isn't okay. If we all had the same knowledge as these people, none of us would be victims anymore. There wouldn't be crackers out there, because if someone tried to crack into your computer, you could quite quickly shut them down, because you know how it works. None of these bank scams would happen anymore. None of these online fraud things would happen anymore. How many of you know somebody who's actually replied to the Nigerian prince scam? What are you doing? Why do people do this in this day and age? Surely you must have heard a million times that is not a good thing to do. Why do people still do it? Because they don't pay attention. They don't know how the system works. They don't understand when something is too good to be true. We think that everything should be here right now, all the time, everybody loves me. That's not how it actually works. There are 3 kinds of hacker in the world. There are white hat hackers, black hat hackers, and grey hat hackers. Now the white hat guys are the guys on my side. They're the guys who will find out where your system is bust. They will find out where your password is weak. They will find out where your network falls down. They will get inside and then they'll give you a detailed diagram on how to fix it. Okay? There's actually a new place out there at the moment online, you can check them out, called HackerOne. And you might have heard about Heartbleed. You've heard about the Heartbleed bug, really dangerous security flaw. HackerOne are now offering bounties. So if you can find a leak in someone's security system, if you can find a network weakness, they will pay you money if you point it out. So they're taking these hacker mentality, these guys who can make money by stealing things, and saying, don't steal things. Give us the information that you have and we will pay you actual money and you can still be a good guy. You don't need to be breaking the law to make money being a hacker anymore. HackerOne, check it out, worth a look. There are black hat hackers, and these are the guys in the news, like I said. These are the stealers, the robbers, the criminals, the guys who use their power to get inside your system. They know more than you, and they will take your things. We need to stop these bullies from doing what they're doing. And the way to do that is no more than they do, or at least as much. And then grey hat hackers. These guys, you might have heard about them, they're Lovesick and Anonymous. Guys who get online and they're trying to make a statement or a point. And very often they do what they do for what they call the lulz. They do it because it is funny to take advantage of people who are dumber than them. Mostly they don't do things that are super dangerous. They're probably not out there to steal your money. They're not out there to break your computer. What they really do is they'll take over your website and post naked photos of people on there. Or they'll do really funny things to your websites or to your businesses online because they found that you're weak and they're pointing out to you, you're really silly buddy, you need to get off the internet. Most of these guys have just got an incredible wealth of knowledge and they like playing pranks on you. Although that said, they do some dangerous things, and Anonymous is now getting very, very powerful online. Okay, you can see some of the things that they're doing to foreign governments, and the American government has actually co-opted Anonymous to try and help them break down ISIS. So over the last couple of months, Anonymous have been getting online and crashing ISIS everything. They've been robbing their bank accounts. They've been breaking down their social media feeds, which is how they recruit new members to ISIS. Anonymous have been co-opted by the government to stop that happening. And what are they getting paid? Nothing. They're doing it for the lulz. They're doing it because it's funny to shut down these horrible terrorist people, and I can. White hat guys, we spoke about. You need to look at HackerOne. I definitely recommend you go and see their website, because if you have any sort of technical knowledge, you can make actual bucks by going on their website and helping them fight crime online. It's kind of like a vigilante movement that's happening at the minute. They are the good guys, as in the old cowboy movies, they have white hats on. Grey hat guys are the negative ones, and as I say at the bottom there, you can see they do it for the lulz. If you've ever seen that symbol appear on somebody else's website, they have been hacked. Okay, somebody's gotten onto their website and they've put their little upper crust man on there. That's Lovesick. Those guys used to be Anonymous. They were the smartest men in Anonymous, and they splintered off and made their own group because they thought Anonymous were too soft. So they went away and made their own group called Lovesick, and they're the guys who do stuff to high-level government people. They're the guys who will crash a homophobic senator's website and then replace it with gay porn. Those are the guys who will go online and they will take over corporations that seem to be contributing to third world poverty and things like that, crash their websites and make a huge public statement all over it saying this company is evil. They had to go at PayPal very recently and they tried to shut PayPal down. Very powerful movement, grey hat movement. So black hat hackers are the famous ones. So the Mentor was arrested in 1986 and he wrote the Hackers Manifesto in an online magazine called Frack. You may have heard about it. If you haven't read it, go and check it out. Definitely worth a read. Interesting. It's the mentality of a man who's so angry at the system and has so much power that he decides to unleash it on everybody that annoys him. Hacker was a negative term after the News of the World scandal came out. People were hacking phones, phone hacking. Yeah, that's what they were doing, but they're not actually hackers, okay? They're crackers. They're stealing information, doing the wrong thing. So the media was freaking out about these weirdo computer geeks that have so much power, which they can wield remotely and anonymously. Only reason they can do it is because we don't know what they know. If we can teach the kids of tomorrow how to do the things that they do, they won't be victimized anymore. They won't have their stuff stolen. They won't be terrorized online. These three guys who are in the pictures, okay, they look like really scary terrorist people. They are some of the most famous hackers in history, okay? Captain Crunch, this guy on the right, legend, really cool guy. He taught Steve Wozniak and Steve Jobs how to hack. That whistle on the side used to come for free in a cereal box. He worked out how to sit in front of a payphone, and if you make the right series of notes on that little plastic whistle that came for free in a cereal box, you get free phone calls. Okay? And that was what made him famous, and that was what made him one of the FBI's most wanted people. Free phone calls. Okay? So it's out of control. This black hat hacker mentality is out of control. The media has blown it way out of proportion, and it's a big problem. And we're trying to take it back. We're making hacker a positive thing. We're telling these kids, you can hack anything, you can change anything. You have the power to change your own future and to change the digital world. Right? It's all in your hands. You just need to learn some things. You need to get inside the machine. Stop listening to Apple when they say, no, you can't fix your own machines. So we need to stop the computer from being a disposable magic box. We need to drop some knowledge. When your phone breaks, you throw it away. When your iPad doesn't work, you take it to a genius who will fix it for you. Okay? So, like Lord Voldemort, alright, the lack of understanding lends strength to this fear of black hat hackers. In Harry Potter, they don't say Voldemort's name, don't say his name. Okay? It's the same thing with black hat hackers. The more we avoid the concept, the easier it is for them to work in the shadows and destroy things that we have. You wouldn't let someone drive a digger until you had shown them how it all worked and explained the risks, yet we let people online every day who have no idea how their computer works, how the network works, or what the risks are involved with being on the internet. We change that with the kids. We teach them about e-safety, strong passwords, not giving your information out, Okay, making sure that you are safe online first. If you're online, you are available to every person in the world who is also online 24 hours a day. How many of the kids in here have got a tablet, iPad, Android tablet, phone? Keep your hands up if you have a phone. Hands up if you have a computer in your room. You guys are available to anybody on the internet 24 hours a day if it's in your bedroom. Okay? That's kind of a scary concept. You wouldn't leave your front door and your bedroom door open with a big sign saying, please come in, 8-year-old asleep. Okay? Why would you do it online? It's the same problem. We need to take time and explain it to people, especially kids. If you understand it, share your knowledge with the kids. This is how we keep them safe. If they're ignorant of what's happening, they won't know how to stop it. They won't know how to protect themselves. Big, big problem. And think about this too. How many of you guys are pretty good at tech and someone comes and goes, oh, can you fix my computer? And their first thought is, oh, not again. Truth is, yeah, I know you guys do. Okay. Now, the truth is, if you show them, they won't ask you again because they know how to fix it. If you show them what the problem is and say, this is what is wrong, this is how you fix it, they won't ask you again because they'll know. You're sharing your knowledge. We also need to share the love. Okay? So let people know that hacks are awesome. Hacking is wicked. You have power. You can change things. It's a positive thing. You need to encourage exploration and experimentation with digital resources. If you have an old iPad, let your kid rip it apart. Okay? If you don't use it anymore, let them shred it. What's it to you? Let them pull apart all the electronic things that they want to know how they work. And show them the bits and say, this is what this does, this is a resistor. Okay? That way, when it comes time for them to be doing things in the future with technology, because that's where it's going, you need to know. When it comes time for them to be working, doing jobs, they'll already know. They'll be streets ahead of us. Instantly powerful people. The more you can get people to realise that they can use technology to make your life a little bit easier or better, hacking is going to go nuts. You can have this thing called RetroPie on the left. Okay, how many of you guys like playing computer games? Yeah, a few people? Cool. So RetroPie is actually it's a disk image that you can put on your Raspberry Pi, free disk image, download off the internet. All you need to do is get ROMs, okay, which are strictly not super legal, but you can get them online everywhere. Old games, things that are out of copyright are no problem. You download them onto your Raspberry Pi and instantly it becomes a gaming console, which is a duplicate of every gaming console that has ever existed for the last 50 years. You can have every game. You like Pong? You can get Pong. You want asteroids? You can get that. Pac-Man, everything. Including everything that's on the new Nintendos and Xbox systems. No problem. You can have it. Makes your life way easier when you've got one console instead of 7. We've got OpenELEC, okay, which is an entertainment centre. You can link that up to BBC iPlayer, Channel 4. You can link it up to Netflix if you want. Have it all on your Raspberry Pi. $30, entertainment system. And Lifehacker is a great place to look. If you haven't looked at the website already, go to Lifehacker. Brilliant. Lots of really cool ideas on how to change things in your home. Simple things, okay? It might be something as dumb as putting a Twitter feed on a lamp with a microphone in it. Okay, so there was a lamp that was put into an office block and it was put on the table and it recorded people's conversations, turned them into text and tweeted random sayings that people were saying in this office building. It had one of the highest followers on Twitter for months and months and months. A simple little hack off Lifehacker. We need to be MacGyver. Okay, if you don't know who MacGyver is, you're missing out. Check it out on YouTube. We need people who are creators and innovators, not consumers and followers. Look at guys like Jobs. Okay, Steve Jobs never ever was a follower, not ever. If you've ever read his biography, which I totally recommend, okay, even if you hate the man, read the book because it's very good. He was an innovator, he was a creator, he never did what he was told, he never fell in line with everybody else, and that made him one of the greatest innovators we've ever seen. He changed technology. Don't get me wrong, he changed it backwards because now we can't fix anything that he's made, but by that token, everything before him was different. He changed it. He was a paradigm-shifting man. And we need to have kids to be that way. If we want technology to improve, we want society to improve, they need to think new thoughts. Not the same things we've always thought. That's not how you change things. It's not how you fix problems. People who are problem solvers in the future will be the people who are the most powerful. Okay? We've already seen it, all those futuristic movies, all the sheeple that walk around the city and do what they are told. The people who are in charge are the people who think differently, who change things. Iconoclasts. We have new problems arising all the time because of the way we live our lives. We've got climate change, we've got heartbleed, we've got hole in the ozone layer, we've got rupturing oil wells and a plastic pile in the Pacific Ocean, fracking, diminishing fossil fuel supplies, okay, and my iPhone keeps breaking and I have to take it to somebody else. So Einstein has always said that we can't solve our problems with the same thinking that we used when we created them. If we're all thinking the same thoughts, nothing is ever going to get better until somebody thinks differently, thinks something else up to fix these problems that we have existing. How can we empower people? Hacking needs to be praised. If someone does something awesome, praise them for it. If they pull apart a machine and understand more about it, that's great. If they can't put it back together, that's less great, but you can help them do that. You can teach them something extra on top of what they've already learned, and that's what we need to do. We have to change this in schools, okay, which is what the government tried to do with the computer science curriculum. Unfortunately, they didn't support it. They said, this is what we need to do. Kids need to program. Kids need to be doing electronics. But there was no support for teachers, and now teachers are terrified of computer science. We have to teach kids how to run the system and understand how it works. We're giving them the power they need to protect themselves from harm in today's digital society. They can look after themselves. If you're sending a child out into the jungle, you wouldn't send them out with no clothes on and nothing. You'd send them out with a gun and armour. Okay? There's no point in sending them online with no knowledge or no understanding. If we're all white hat hackers to some level, then the black hats will find less easy pickings. And then that's all I have to say for today because I'm out of time. I'm quite over time. But, so that's our mentality here at Hack Lab. That's what we're doing. Okay, so if you want to send your kids to us for holiday camps, we're going to come into your schools. We would love to come into your school and show your teachers how things work. I know there's loads of schools out there who have Raspberry Pis sitting in a box collecting dust because nobody understands how they work. Nobody knows how to use them. Nobody has shown them. The Raspberry Pi Foundation are trying to do that with Pi Academy. We will come into your school and do that for you. We will teach your kids how this stuff works. We need to change the way that things are thought about today about hacking technology and society. And it starts with kids. If we're not changing the way these kids think, nothing will ever change, because they're the future of what we're doing. Thanks very much.